Okay, so this is a video about deer damage in New Jersey and why soybeans will not be grown here again for a very long time until the deer population gets under control. As you can see, a little bit of green there. You look down the rows down there, I think you can see the rows pretty good. Let me telephoto in on those. The farther down towards that fence line you get, the better off the rows look. But when you pan around this way and you look, it's like barren ground because there are deer here. Now, the soybean, this is an unaffected soybean, but then you get that, all the way around. Here's one that's unaffected, and it goes on, so on and so forth, across the board. Now, I plant my soybeans at a pretty thick rate, like 90 pounds to the acre. I use 90 pounds even if the seed is small. You know, the larger seeds, you know, of course, then there's less of them. But I do have this severe deer damage problem. Now, getting a depredation permit is kind of counterproductive on more than one level. First thing is you got to spend the time and be out here every single night shooting at them. The other thing is, it pisses the neighbors off. They don't want to hear shotgun blasts and things like that at bedtime and when their kids are out playing. Even though we do live in the country, it's just not fun. And anybody that thinks that shooting deer on depredation permit would be fun, I'm telling you right now, it's not. Now, I've sprayed my deer repellent on here, but when I did, actually I had Dad do it this time. When I did, it was dry. Therefore, it didn't have the same effect as what it would if it was moist. Now that I've walked down here a little ways, you can actually see that there's a lot less affected area here. So, I mean, really a lot less affected area. As a matter of fact, very little. Instead of it being 10 feet in a row, and this is old damage, you can tell by the top there, but this plant will come back if I can keep the deer off of it. Now, the taller these beans get, the less affected they will be by the deer, because they won't need to go out into the field farther to actually bite the whole entire plant off. See, now this soybean, it's going to branch out from here. You can see it's starting some new leaves down there. But anyway, it is forever affected. It will never reach its full potential. So this is a 40-acre piece, this field that I'm standing in. Out of this 40 acres, there's probably 6 to 8 acres that is really severely affected. I have a kid sitting up there. Peyton, go back to the truck instead of sitting there on your wet ass. Anyway, yeah, so they're severely affected. They're not going to reach their full potential. Now, I'd be happy to get 30 bushels to the acre off of this place, just because it's going to come off probably one of the first fields that comes off. It will be taken off. It will be sprayed with a burn down, whether it be a Roundup or Ignite or something like that, just to clean it up enough that I can get a hay crop planted here in the fall. Now, some of the hay that I will plant, I'm going to plant ryegrass along with orchard and timothy, just to just to cover all my bases as far as emergence of each different type of grass. But I still have all this. This is foxtail that's growing in here, so I have to come in with Roundup. These are Roundup Ready beans, by the way. But I'm going to come in with Roundup, and I'm going to kill all that grass off of there, so that when these beans do finally get a chance to canopy over, that they will, and as you can see, the farther I walk, the more or the less damage that there is. But they have essentially affected this whole entire field, because you see this one here, that one's struggling. I don't know whether there's a bug in it or what, but I have to do it's been very dry here the last couple of weeks. But as you can see, there's really not that much damage here from the deer the closer I get to the truck or the farther away from the wood line, because the size of the field, deer really don't like to be out in the middle of the field. they're exposed, especially with their fawns and stuff. But here's one. You know, after walking quite a ways, you can see where they had come out. But this is old. So my deer repellent is working. It's not working as well as I'd like it to. But there's like a three-way, there's three ways you can take care of these things. One is a noisemaker, which I'm inventing, by the way, and I'll show you a little bit of that later on. When I get all my parts together, I'll show you how to make a noisemaker. Motion sensor noisemaker. It's expensive, but you know, you set it along the deer trails and stuff, and you kind of move it around the field. I got a pretty good idea as to how it's going to work. But anyway, see now, these beans don't look just too god-awful bad for being planted and growing under dry conditions. Now, it's wet now, as you can see, but it's, I think we're going to do okay here. But, like I said, I think I'm done growing soybeans. I'm so sick and tired of fighting these deer. It just isn't worth it to me anymore. I mean, I don't care if beans get to $20 a bushel. To fight this deer problem that we have on this level, hey, I got 464 acres of soybeans. 464 acres of soybeans that I got to put 2 gallons of repellent on every 2 weeks, $8 and some cents a trip. I have to do it 3, possibly 4 times. I've done this already twice. And, but, you know, like I said earlier, the taller these beans get, the less affected they will be, because the deer won't need to walk out into the field and eat some, or walk out into the field to destroy little plants. They will walk out along the edges and, you know, trim that up, because there's going to be so much foliage for them to eat. Now, the more deer I keep off of here, the better off I'll be. So I'm just going to keep working at it, keep picking at them, keep spraying my repellent, and, you know, this field here could be worth a good bit of money if I could just keep the damn deer off. But anyways, yeah, so I'm just out scouting after the rain. This rain will cause these beans to grow like crazy, because it's like 85 degrees right now in the morning. And heat and rain make grain, so they say. But once it dries up, then obviously you can see I've got a weed problem, or, you know, grass problem. And so the minute it starts to dry up a little bit, then I'm going to head back out here with the Roundup and take care of that problem. These beans here are actually younger than the ones that we were just out in, because Timothy, he got into a rain shower and couldn't plant them. So, I mean, it was pouring down rain, so he pulled out, so I had to come back a week later and finish them up. But anyways, thanks for watching and listening to my I Hate Deer video. And yes, by the way, this is the same field where the deer thief, or the corn thief, was in. And he can't steal soybeans, and he certainly isn't going to steal hay. So this is what I think of you, Stephen Viola. And yeah, thanks for watching. Please comment, rate, and subscribe. Yeehaw.